Listen and practice. Alex knew English. They understood complex sentences in movies, grasped every word in podcasts, and even translated articles effortlessly in their mind. Yet, when it came to speaking, a heavy silence descended. Their tongue felt tied, words vanished, and a wave of panic always swept over them, making communication an impossible, daunting task every single time. This was their daily day's struggle. This persistent inability to articulate their thoughts created immense frustration. Social gatherings became awkward, opportunities at work felt just out of reach, and even simple interactions with tourists felt like monumental hurdles. Alex yearned to engage, to share ideas, to truly connect, but their voice remained stubbornly locked away, a prisoner within their own understanding. "I understand English but I can't speak well," Alex would often lament silently to themselves, a mantra of self-defeat. The gap between comprehension and verbal expression felt like an unbridgeable chasm, deepening their sense of isolation. They knew the grammar rules, possessed a vast vocabulary, yet applying it conversationally was a mysterious, elusive art they hadn't mastered. One day, scrolling through endless self-help articles, a particular headline caught Alex's eye. It boldly proclaimed, "Why you must read English, the unsung hero of fluency." Intrigued, Alex clicked, their curiosity piqued by the promise of a fresh perspective on their perennial linguistic dilemma. Could such a simple activity truly hold the key? The article passionately explained why reading is important, detailing how it builds vocabulary, reinforces grammar structures naturally, and exposes learners to diverse sentence patterns. It argued that extensive reading lays the foundational neural pathways necessary for eventual speaking fluency. Alex felt a flicker of hope ignite within their disheartened spirit. Reluctantly at first, Alex began reading. Not textbooks, but engaging short stories and blog posts related to their hobbies. They committed to a daily reading quota, starting small and gradually increasing the volume. It felt less like studying and more like an enjoyable escape, slowly chipping away at their long-held resistance towards active learning. Slowly, subtly, the words on the page started to dance differently. New idioms became clearer, complex verb tenses made intuitive sense, and the flow of sentences began to imprint itself onto Alex's mind. This quiet, consistent immersion was building a rich internal library of English, preparing the groundwork for active production later on. However, reading alone wouldn't bridge the speaking gap entirely. The article had also emphasized the crucial role of listen and practice. Alex realized they needed to train their ears as much as their eyes, to internalize the rhythm, intonation, and natural speed of spoken English for true communicative competence. So, Alex added a new ritual to their daily routine: dedicated listening. They started with podcasts designed for English learners, then graduated to authentic British documentaries and radio shows. Their goal was not just to understand the words, but to absorb the accent, the pacing, and the conversational nuances of native speakers. The choice of "Let's talk in British English" was intentional. Alex admired the distinct pronunciation, the subtle wit, and the cultural richness embedded within British conversations. This specific focus provided a clear target for their listening and eventual speaking practice, adding an exciting, personalized dimension to their learning journey. Alex started shadowing, a technique involving repeating what they heard simultaneously or immediately after. This listen and practice method felt awkward initially, their tongue stumbling over unfamiliar sounds, but with persistent effort, the words began to flow more smoothly, mimicking the natural flow of the British speakers they admired. Despite the progress in understanding and mimicry, the looming fear of actual conversation remained. How to talk to anyone in English seemed like the ultimate, insurmountable hurdle. The thought of initiating a conversation, of making mistakes in real time, triggered intense anxiety, making Alex's palms sweat and heart race. This speaking block was the most significant, my daily day's struggle. Alex would rehearse imagined conversations in their head perfectly, but as soon as a real opportunity arose, their mind would go blank, their throat would tighten, and the rehearsed phrases would vanish into thin air, leaving them speechless and embarrassed. A turning point arrived after watching an inspiring video titled, "How to Take First Step for Talking." The speaker emphasized starting incredibly small, like ordering coffee, asking for directions, or simply greeting someone. It wasn't about perfection, but about breaking the silence and building tiny increments of confidence. Armed with this newfound advice, Alex decided to take that terrifying first step. The local British-themed cafe became their training ground. Every morning, they would approach the counter, heart pounding, determined to utter a simple, complete sentence in English, focusing purely on getting the words out. The first few attempts were indeed clumsy. A mumbled "coffee, please," or a hesitant "thanks" were all Alex could manage. But each successful, albeit brief, interaction chipped away at the immense fear. The baristas were patient, offering warm smiles, which slowly eroded Alex's deeply ingrained apprehension about speaking. Soon, Alex graduated from single words to simple sentences, carefully crafting inquiries about the weather or asking for specific pastry recommendations. Each successful interaction, no matter how small, felt like a monumental victory, fueling their growing confidence and demonstrating the tangible progress they were making daily. Beyond the cafe, Alex explored online language exchange platforms, specifically seeking partners interested in "Let's Talk in British English." These virtual conversations offered a low-pressure environment to "how to practice English" without the immediate pressure of face-to-face interaction, allowing for more thoughtful responses. They found Emma, a friendly British native eager to learn about Alex's culture. Their weekly video calls became invaluable practice sessions. Emma patiently corrected Alex's pronunciation and offered natural, idiomatic expressions, gently guiding them towards more fluent, authentic British English, making the learning process genuinely enjoyable. Alex started recording their conversations with Emma, reviewing them later to identify areas for improvement. This self-assessment was initially painful, highlighting all the stumbles and grammatical errors, but it was crucial for targeted listen and practice, allowing them to focus on specific sounds or phrases that needed work. The concept of "how to practice English" transformed from a daunting task into a series of achievable micro-goals. Alex practiced introducing themselves, describing their day, and discussing simple topics, building conversational stamina step by step. Each new phrase mastered was a tiny brick in the wall of their growing fluency. Alex also began narrating their daily activities internally in English. While walking, they would describe the street, the people, the sounds, forcing their brain to think and process thoughts directly in the target language. This continuous internal monologue significantly improved their spontaneous word retrieval and sentence formation. The immersion extended to entertainment. Alex actively sought out British TV shows, films, and stand-up comedy, not just for enjoyment, but as a deliberate listen and practice exercise. They paid close attention to slang, cultural references, and the speed of natural conversation, expanding their understanding beyond textbook examples. This continuous exposure reinforced the distinct nuances of British English, from the subtle shift in vowel sounds to the unique rhythm of their sentences. Alex found themselves unconsciously adopting certain intonations and even a few charming Britishisms, making their spoken English sound more authentic and natural. There were still my daily day's struggle moments, of course. Some days, words still felt elusive, and confidence wavered. But Alex had learned to embrace these setbacks as part of the learning curve, understanding that consistent effort, not perfection, was the true measure of their progress and dedication. Alex remembered the initial fear, the terrifying chasm between understanding and speaking. Now, the chasm felt like a manageable gap, bridged by diligent reading, consistent listening, and the courage to take repeated small steps. The memory of being speechless motivated them to keep pushing forward, never to retreat. The process of how to practice English became deeply ingrained in Alex's routine. It wasn't an extra task, but an integrated part of their day, from morning podcasts during breakfast to evening reading before bed. This consistent engagement created a rich, immersive English environment around them. They realized why you must read English went beyond vocabulary. It built cultural context and a deeper appreciation for the language's nuances. Reading British authors provided insights into their humor, social customs, and historical references, enriching Alex's understanding far beyond mere linguistic acquisition. Similarly, understanding why reading is important now meant appreciating its foundational role. It was the silent partner, the quiet architect behind the scenes, building the scaffolding upon which all subsequent speaking and listening skills could confidently be erected and polished over time. Alex's ability to initiate how to talk to anyone in English blossomed. The fear began to recede, replaced by a genuine curiosity and eagerness to engage. They found themselves naturally joining conversations, contributing thoughts, and even playfully interjecting with British-esque phrases they had learned. The first step, that terrifying, how to take first step for talking, had indeed been the most crucial. It broke the spell of silence and proved that action, however small, was infinitely more powerful than endless internal planning. It was the genesis of all their subsequent linguistic triumphs. As Alex's fluency improved, they felt a profound shift in their identity. No longer were they the person who, "I understand English but I can't speak well." They were now a confident communicator, capable of expressing themselves effectively and connecting with a wider world of people. The journey was by no means over. Alex's new language learning was a lifelong pursuit, filled with continuous listen and practice. There would always be new words to learn, new accents to discern, and new conversational styles to adapt to, ensuring the challenge remained invigorating. But the initial agony had subsided. The "my daily day's struggle" was no longer about fundamental speaking blockages, but about refining expression, mastering more complex grammar, and expanding their idiomatic repertoire. It was a struggle of refinement, not of sheer inability, a joyful progression. They often reflected on the initial advice to listen and practice, realizing its profound simplicity and effectiveness. Consistent exposure combined with active reproduction was indeed the engine of their progress, providing both the input for understanding and the output for confident verbalization. Alex found immense satisfaction in their newfound ability to "let's talk in British English." Engaging in discussions about current events with British nuances, debating football, or simply exchanging witty banter felt incredibly authentic and rewarding, making all the dedicated effort worthwhile. The subtle inflections and specific vocabulary of British English, once intimidating, now felt natural and familiar. They could distinguish between regional accents and appreciate the diverse linguistic landscape of the UK, adding another layer of depth to their comprehensive understanding. How to practice English became a creative endeavor. Alex experimented with different speaking exercises, tried mock presentations, and even participated in online debates, pushing their linguistic boundaries further and further, actively seeking out situations that challenged their comfort zone. The early advice on why you must read English transformed into a passionate endorsement. Alex became an avid reader of British literature, from classic novels to contemporary thrillers, finding immense joy in the narratives while simultaneously enhancing their vocabulary and grammatical prowess. They understood why reading is important, not just for language, but for cultural immersion. Reading provided a window into the British psyche, their humor, their values, and their unique way of viewing the world, making Alex's spoken interactions more informed and empathetic. Alex now confidently approached how to talk to anyone in English. The fear of judgment had largely evaporated, replaced by an understanding that most people appreciate effort and patience. They initiated conversations with strangers, enjoying the unpredictable flow of genuine interaction. That crucial, how to take first step for talking, was no longer a single event but a continuous philosophy. Every new, challenging conversational situation was another first step, a chance to push past comfort zones and expand their communicative abilities even further. No longer burdened by, "I understand English but I can't speak well," Alex now offered encouragement to others facing similar struggles. They shared their journey, emphasizing the importance of small, consistent efforts and the transformative power of perseverance, inspiring many. The memory of their "my daily day's struggle" served as a powerful reminder of how far they had come. It underscored the fact that fluency was not an innate gift but a cultivated skill, built brick by painstaking brick through sheer determination and daily application. Alex's transformation was a testament to the power of deliberate practice. From silent understanding to fluent expression, their journey proved that the gap between passive comprehension and active speech could indeed be bridged with the right strategies and unwavering commitment. The specific choice to "let's talk in British English" had provided a clear, motivating goal, making the learning process more focused and enjoyable. This niche interest made the journey feel less generic and more personally tailored, boosting motivation when challenges arose. Each success, from ordering a coffee effortlessly to engaging in a complex debate, reinforced Alex's belief in the "listen and practice" methodology. It was the cyclical process of input and output, refine and repeat, that truly propelled them forward, day after day. Alex now viewed errors not as failures, but as invaluable learning opportunities, essential feedback in their continuous pursuit of mastery. They embraced the imperfection, knowing that mistakes were merely stepping stones on the path towards genuine, uninhibited fluency. The initial, paralyzing anxiety of how to talk to anyone in English had been replaced by a quiet confidence. Alex understood that perfect grammar wasn't necessary for effective communication. Courage to speak and a willingness to connect were far more important. Their journey from "I understand English but I can't speak well" to articulating complex thoughts fluently was a personal triumph. It showcased the incredible potential within each learner to overcome perceived limitations with strategic effort and unyielding determination. The story of Alex is a powerful reminder that every great journey begins with a single step, however daunting. Their dedication to "how to practice English" despite recurring obstacles exemplifies the profound impact of persistence on personal growth. Alex's life was now immeasurably richer. The ability to express themselves freely in English opened doors to new friendships, professional opportunities, and a deeper appreciation of global cultures, proving the transformative power of language acquisition in every facet of life. No longer bound by the silent understanding, Alex now actively participated in the world, their voice a vibrant testament to their commitment. The dream of fluent communication had become a tangible reality, a daily source of pride and accomplishment. The initial, "my daily days struggle," evolved into a rewarding daily challenge, a continuous fine-tuning of a skill they once thought unattainable. Alex's perseverance transformed a weakness into a significant strength, empowering them in ways they never imagined possible. So, if you understand English but can't speak well, remember Alex. Start with "listen and practice," discover why you must read English, take that crucial, how to take first step for talking, and watch your daily days struggle transform into triumph.